So that's a very different communication, but also a message for myself. I feel far more empowered versus fearful of what you're going to do or not do. I know what I'm willing to do for myself. So I just wanted to address that first point of your question. And then I think, boundaries come in all different sort of shapes and sizes and contexts as well. So from a burnout perspective, like, we are a society of busyness and a society of overdoing it, achievement, things like that. So when we are constant go, 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 and we feel overwhelmed and things like that, there's a clue of boundaries that are definitely needed within that. So that's just one element. There's a lot of, personal boundaries around our own value system. So I mentioned just that idea of communication and what I'm willing to accept. And, somebody yelling at me, I'm not willing to accept that, and that's okay. So that's a personal boundary for me.
Yeah, you're so right when you mention about, a boundary is set for you and it's not necessarily set for other people. While we do set boundaries between us and other individuals, that's one thing that I've noticed in my life and that I've heard from people close to me or clients that I've worked with when they are attempting to set boundaries is it can really, you might have a friendship or a family member who you really do love and you really do respect them and you still want to have them in your life in some capacity, but there's things that are happening that you recognize for yourself. You just can't continue to live that way, or you just can't continue to let that line be crossed. And that's kind of what came to my mind when you mentioned that was, a boundary maybe not necessarily being like a brick wall as you would maybe vision it, but rather a line in the sand of saying like, I'm not shutting you out, but I'm telling you that if this line is crossed, that, I'm not going to continue to deal with it in the way that I had in the past. Is that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just it, is when we continue to deal with it the same way we have in past, we end up enabling dysfunction. So to